Lure refinishing is an important part of every angler's arsenal. One of the things I like to do come winter is I pull out my lures and I decide which ones need a little bit of touch-up. In this particular case, I've got 5 lures that I actually just bought brand new because it's a discontinued lure from Missouri, and I'm going to refinish them. And I've got them at the various stages, and I'm going to use them to illustrate all the different points. So first off, I'm going to start off with what the lure looked like out of the package. This is just a black top with a purple bottom and the original VMC hooks. I need to get to a very different place because this is a great lure for like late at night or low light conditions, but that's not really what I'm looking for, and it's discontinued and I can't get the colors I want. So I'm going to go and make the change now. I'm going to start off by stripping all the tackle off. So I'm going to use a pair of split ring pliers, and you know what? This is great in every angler's arsenal. Everyone should have this. Along with my plugs, I also have lots of extra hooks and plenty of split rings. So I took all the split rings and the hooks off the lure, and the next thing I did is I looked at the area I was going to paint and I wanted to dull the finish. There are 2 ways to do this. I choose some medium fine steel wool, which I basically just steel wooled it out. You could have used a Scotch-Brite pad. The ultimate goal, dull the existing finish so you can get to the point where the paint is going to stick. So that's step 1. I got the finish dull, and I'm going to take and then use a little bit of denatured alcohol. And what I'm actually going to do is just wipe down the plug and make sure any debris from sanding is off of it and the plug is clean, and now I've got a good surface to take paint. The next step is I took some very simple blue masking tape and I masked all the areas I didn't want to paint. In this particular case, I didn't want to paint the eyes, the red face, the eyelid on the bottom, and the eyelid on the tail. Even though the eyelids aren't quite as important, some people don't even bother to mask them. You can if you want. Paint's going to come off there pretty easily anyway, even after you paint it. So once I did that, now I'm ready to paint. And here's a clever trick. So I've got my lure all masked out and ready to go. And at this point, what I want to do is set it up so I can paint it. So I take a binder clip, and these come in a variety of sizes, and just pop one side open. I'm actually going to take the tape off the tail here for this. And slip it through the tail, pop it back into the binder clip, and now I've got a great way to hold my lure for painting. And the nice thing about the binder clip is because the wire is kind of big, it holds the lure in the right angle all the time. And now I'm going to cheat a little further. I'm going to create a mask that I'm going to paint against because I'm really only painting one side for this specific lure. So what I did was I took a piece of cardboard, I traced the basic lure outline in it, and I cut it out. And now I'm just going to clip this right onto it. Use my binder clip to get it in place. Fold down the little flap, and I'm ready to paint. And now, in this particular case, I'll just get it to the right height. In this particular case, I can paint on this side, or I could paint on this side depending on what I want to do. But the nice thing is I've got a good shield for my lure. I just need to sand it straight up and down, and I'm ready to paint. Now the next important step is using the paint, selecting the paint. Krylon makes a Krylon Fusion, which is a great paint. Any good enamel is going to work. The important thing to realize is this. Fish teeth are going to get through it no matter what. And before you're done with this, you're going to probably coat it with a clear coat. So I start off by putting a very thin coat of the paint I want to use for color. In this particular case, it was white. I started off, I did a quick shot of white, very fast on the plug. Didn't try and build it up very much, just to color it. And it gives me some nice feathering on each edge because of the way I shot it, because I shot it straight up and down. And then I got some of this glitter paint, which was great, and I shot it at a pretty good distance and just got some sparkles on it. You know, I'm not sure whether this helps catch fish, but I like the way it looks, and if it reflects a little bit more light and looks a little more natural in the water, and it works, I can't see it hurting. So at that point, I've got my paint, I like the way it looks, and by the way, if I don't like the way it looks and I screw it up, I might take a little denatured alcohol and rub this paint right back off again before it sets. Or if I have to, I might use acetone, which will remove any enamel. But you may want to test it on the rest of the lure first, because it could damage the finish. So if I like my paint job, the final thing I do is I shoot the whole lure with a coat of clear. And I pretty much take my clip, hold the lure up in the air, and a very quick shot all around it. I'm just trying to get the whole lure wet at once. You're not trying to put a lot on, just one solid thin coat, and that's all you need. And at that point, I have a painted and finished lure, and all I have to do is add the hooks. In this particular case, I replaced the original VMC hooks with some 3X ultra heavy mustads, and that's because of the nature of the fish that I'm going for. Most of the time that's not necessary. If you're bass fishing, you don't have to change the hooks, but this is going to probably be used for big yellowfin tuna, and the hooks need to be changed. So I got from factory, which was this, to my final product, which was this. Took the tape off, it's beautiful, looks like it came out of the package this way. To learn more about this and other tips, visit our website at neangling.com.